So let me just say that I am not tech savvy at all. I scheduled the live and for some reason I thought it was going to just automatically go on and that didn't happen. So I'm a couple of minutes late. My apologies. Good evening. Thank you so much for joining me for this evening's Facebook Live. I'm Bethany Goldzer. I'm a college admissions consultant with Standout College Prep. And my mission is to be a resource for you if you're a teen or for the parents to provide you support in helping your teen get into college. I do believe that it takes a village. I know that's true for myself. It took a lot of work and a lot of people who cared about me to get me into and through the University of Chicago. And over the last 15 years that I've worked with students, I know it takes a lot. It takes a whole team of people. So I appreciate you joining me tonight. Tonight, I'm going to go over the blog post that I shared out with you guys yesterday about why write a high school resume, but I want to take it a step further and show you how to use the template that that I shared in the Drive folder. It's actually, there are 4 different files that I shared, and I know that a lot of people wrote back to me and they said that their students get stuck with actually the process of writing a resume. So that's what we're going to talk about tonight. But before we jump into that, make sure you check out the link that's attached to this video so that you can get to the blog post if you haven't read it. That's where I go step by step through the reasons why high school students should have a resume. A lot of people don't believe that they should. They don't believe resumes are essential, but I do. And partly because it's personal through my own experience, but also because I've witnessed so many students over the years use a resume and see how many doors that opened up for them. So the key reason that students need a resume is that it acts as a roadmap for them. So even if your student is in 9th grade or 10th grade and they haven't had a lot of experience, they haven't participated in a lot of activities, they're not too far along in their studies, they feel like there's not a lot to add to it, a resume can be aspirational. You can show them a resume of a student who is more developed, someone who they would aspire to be. Like maybe there's a student that is at a college that they want to attend, and they can look at that student's resume and see this is what it takes to get into that school. So resumes are really good to be aspirational. Even if they're empty right now, it gives you a place to pin where the student should expand their participation. So maybe they want more extracurriculars on there, they want to see more projects on there, they want to have some paid work experience on there, there's skills that they want to develop. It's good to just get them started. It begins that conversation around what they should be doing to build out their resume so that they're prepared for both college and career. So it's very aspirational, good roadmap. The second reason is a more practical reason, and that is to get a job, an internship, or volunteer experience. So particularly with this school year that things are virtual and students are looking for opportunities online, the best way to stand out is if you have a resume. People that you're a student or that you teens, if you're watching, are contacting don't necessarily know you because maybe they're coming from areas that are further away from your community. A resume is a quick and easy way for them to sum you up in about 7 seconds. That's how long it takes for the average person to look at your resume and make a determination if they want to bring you in for an interview. It's expected that you have a resume for an interview, even if it's a virtual interview, because it's a talking point for the interviewer. And it also gives you a place to prepare from. So it makes your life easier if you already have a resume template ready to go. So you can use it for careers, you can use it for jobs, you can use it for internships. I know when I was growing up, I got my first job at McDonald's when I was 14, and I did have a resume. My mom showed it to the hiring manager. He was so impressed that he hired me, and I was the youngest person working there. So it really can help you stand out to employers, volunteer coordinators, or different people who you want to hire you for an opportunity. And the third, one of the newest places where resume requirements are showing up this year is the college admissions process. So I've used college resumes with students for the last 15 years to get into college. while it wasn't required, a lot of schools provided a place for the resume to be uploaded. My philosophy on anything that is optional is required if it's your top college. So it's just something that I've always done with students. But now with COVID-19 and SAT and ACT exams being canceled, colleges are shifting to a more holistic review. And so that means that they're going to be looking for these qualitative, other more tangible ways to assess candidates. So here comes resumes. It's showing up in dozens of colleges, and I listed them in this week's blog article, so you can see specific colleges that are now requiring that you upload and submit a resume. So listen, and when you're preparing for college, it's not good to wait until the last minute. I love students that are in 9th and 10th grade and 11th grade, first week of school, 11th graders who are really thinking about what can I do now to make sure that I'm prepared for college, to make sure that I have whatever it is that I need to stand out in any sort of opportunity that I'm seeking. So a resume is definitely your good first best bet in terms of being able to do that. And it's also very confidence boosting to see yourself on one sheet of paper, to see how amazing you are and all of your accomplishments. So you should definitely do that, even if it's just for that reason, to give yourself a little mental boost. So I want to show you how to actually build a resume, because I know that that is where a lot of students get stuck. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to share my screen, and I'm going to just check to make sure you can see my screen. And going to share my screen with you. And we're going to go through this now, step by step, different pieces of the resume. So this is just one of the templates that I have. If you've downloaded the resume file, you will see that there are, I went to the wrong place. So I'm not good with technology on the fly. In the resume file, there's a link underneath this video. You will see exactly where you can go to get the file of resumes. There are 4. One is a traditional resume. One is an infographic resume, which is more visual. I think that one is good for students who don't have a lot of things to add on their resume and they want to win on the visual appeal. And then I have 2 modern resumes. The nice thing about all of these resumes is that once you make a copy of it and it's yours, it's in your own drive, you can edit it however you'd like, simply by going to slides and going to edit master. And once you go there, you can change the color, you can change the font, you can really do whatever you want with that. That's not what we're going to go over now. We're going to go over the content parts, like things that you can do to build out the content. So to quickly walk you through the resume, first and last name goes at the top. Your graduating class goes underneath that. On the left-hand panel, you want to put in your address. Some people don't like to put in the full street address. I think for jobs, you don't have to. For college, you should. They're going to have your address anyway. And this way, your regional admissions officer knows that they're looking at the right person's resume. When it comes to your phone number, put the phone number down that is answered. If you have a cell phone that you don't answer, don't put that down. If there's a home number and you know that your parents will answer it and you won't miss the call, then you should put that one down. Okay, as far as your email address goes, your email should be a professional email address. And I have here on the notes on the side that a non-school email address would be preferred, because once you graduate from high school, you don't want your mail to go to that same address. So you would want to really set up your own non-school professional email address. And then if you have a LinkedIn profile, which I think once you have a resume put together, you'll be in a position to have a LinkedIn profile, then that goes there. Underneath, you put in your educational credentials. So your high school goes there. And then if you've taken any college classes, they can be based at your school, at the local library, it doesn't matter. You can put that down, and you should put that down. I've even had students put down courses that they've taken through Coursera, for example, if it was through a college. That's completely fine to go there. For your skills, skills are things that you can do. They're not traits, they're not qualities about you, they are things that you can do. So you list those things out there. And then below there is hobbies. So with the hobbies, I decided to mix things up a bit and make some icons here. So that's very simple. You can definitely delete these out, and to add your own, you would go to insert, image, and you would do a search for the web. So if you were interested in singing, you could just put in singing icon. Whatever hobby you have, you want to put icon in after it, and you can click one of these and see what comes out. And so you see how this icon comes up, and you just take it, you drag it, okay, and it appears, and then you just resize it to fit in one of these spots. So that's how you do that. So that's very simple, to just change up the icons depending on what your hobbies are. And now let's go to the meat of this resume. And so that's this middle panel here. I put on the side the notes on what you want to put in here. So in the first bullet point, you want to insert your computer skills. So you want to say something like skilled in, or actually we have skills that are like adept at MS Office Suite and Internet research. If you know Adobe, if you know some computer coding skills, these are things that you can put there. The second line is where you can insert a statement that brags about the rigor of your academic coursework. So you could put something like, you know, taken 7 AP courses and 3 honors classes. Okay, so you can put something like that. It's 8 o'clock at night. Forgive my spelling. All right, the third point you can put in is something related to your extracurricular, any extracurricular accolades that you've won. So earned top swimmer award for 100 or 200 freestyle, okay? And then the fourth point could be your a summary of your GPA, your SAT scores or ACT scores if you have them, your class rankings. So earned a 3.0 GPA, 1200 SAT combined, and well, let's say you don't have a ranking, because most students don't have a ranking anymore. Okay, so there's that. Now, the problem with this is that, and this is what happens with a lot of students, is that they run out of action verbs to put, and it sounds redundant. So I did this on purpose, in that the blog article that was written, there includes a link to 250 different action words. So when you look at that, you'll be able to see, oh, there's something else that I can use other than earn. So I can put achieved instead, right? So that's what the point of that worksheet is to give students a variety of the various action verbs they can use. So let's just hop down here for this is the last part of this demo, the experience section. So in this section, this is where you're going to highlight any activities that you've done, any jobs that you've held, any volunteer activities. You're going to list them in the order of most recent to least recent. So you would put in the position you had. So let's say you were an intern. You would put in the name of the organization. So let's say it's the Red Cross, American Red Cross. And then you would put in the month and year to the month and year, or if you're currently volunteering or interning, you would put to present. So let's say that it was, you started this in June of 2019 to present. Let's say you're still doing it. Okay. And city and state, so let's say New York, New York. Okay. Accomplishments. That is what you highlight, not your responsibilities, because that's boring. You want to show how amazing and awesome you are. So you want to highlight the things that you've done that has helped people, that has saved money, that has saved time. These are the things that are going to be important for anyone to see who's interested in you. So you would use that action verb sheet again. You would start it off with an action verb, and then you would lead into the accomplishment. So you would say, so for the internship, I raised $1,000 for, let's say, Hurricane Harvey disaster victims. So their action verb is raised, and your accomplishment is that you raised the money for 1,000 people, and you raised $1,000 for disaster victims. Action verb plus accomplishment, and a lot of times that accomplishment statement includes an impact statement, who you impacted, which is really great too. It rounds it all out. Let's do another one, our final one. Another thing that you could have done as an intern at the Red Cross is reorganized filing system, saving the program coordinator time, and building program time and building capacity. That's it. Okay, so there is that. No, I don't include that. The only thing about these is that you have to play around with it a little bit to get it to reformat right. All right, the whole formatting thing is like a whole project in itself. But those are the ways that you can update that. So again, just to recap, resumes for high school students are essential. You definitely want to have one. There are lots of good reasons to have one. And you can download the resume files underneath this video, and it's going to include the notes in the side panel, so you know exactly how to build this up, and you can also refer to this video. So thank you so much for tuning in. I'm going to stop sharing my video. Have a good night, and I'll speak to you soon.